David Adair, the writer of Bryony the Blue-Footed Booby. There's Bryony there. The story is told completely from Bryony's point of view. So without further ado, I will say welcome to the world of Bryony and friends. So, chapter 1 of Bryony the Blue-Footed Booby is entitled I'm Bryony. So let's, without further ado, have an introduction to Bryony. My name is Bryony. I'm 4 years young. I am a bird of the blue-footed booby type, living near to the sea in what is called the Galapagos Islands. They belong to the country of Ecuador in South America. I like it here. North Seymour Island is the name of the place. I'm near to the sea and also close to land. My home or nest is close to the ocean. I live in a divot in the ground. It is comfy for me. What I like most about it here is all the different creatures that live here with me. There are many. Oh, excuse me, I just need to let Ignacio and Eloise get past me. They are looking for Ignacio because they're hungry. Oh, sorry, I forget. I should introduce my 3 friends that I've just mentioned to you. Ignacio and Eloise are crabs, Sally Lightfoot crabs, and are both 2 years old. Ignacio is 22 years old and is a marine iguana. Did you know that although iguanas like land mainly, marine iguanas can hold their breath underwater for a really long time? I have seen Ignacio underwater before when I've been fishing. Sometimes Ignacio goes underwater to escape from predators. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would 2 crabs be looking for an iguana? Well, one is because they're friends, but also Sally Lightfoot crabs and marine iguanas have a special relationship. You see, for many years these crabs and the iguanas have an understanding. This involves the crabs eating ticks and other little things from the skin of iguanas. So Ignacio and Eloise get a meal and Ignacio gets clean skin. Every creature is a winner. I call it the cycle of nature. It keeps life on this island going. There's Ignacio over there. I don't think they can see him yet. They usually have good vision. But they have just seen me and may be distracted by my bright blue feet. They're not alone. Most other creatures, including humans, seem to notice my feet more than anything else about me. Don't worry, I'm used to it by now. Well, I think they can see him now as they are heading towards him. Ignacio is as still as a statue, waiting proudly for them to arrive. Sally Lightfoot crabs can get around most surfaces. They can even walk on water for a short time. I sometimes see them skipping across the water. I spend a lot of my time in the water. As you can imagine, Eloise and Ignacio have no trouble getting to Ignacio now that they can see him. Ah, there we go. They are both enjoying a nice snack on Ignacio's skin at the moment. Please don't worry about Ignacio, it does not hurt him. He is happy, it gets the ticks off his skin. Every creature is happy. This is what I, for one, like to see. Don't you? Nature is a miracle, I think. You only need to look at my feet to see that. Or see me diving into the ocean fishing also. Anyway, now that Eloise and Ignacio have found Ignacio, they all seem to be enjoying themselves, so I will go to where I spend most of my time. Although my nest is on land, I love being in the sea. I am luckier than many creatures, as us blue-footed boobies have only one predator, or enemy, I guess you call them. It means that either on land or in the sea, where you know I like being, I need only to look out for one creature, the Galapagos hawk. They are a big brute of a bird that lives on these islands, Greta and Geo are the hawks I see the most. And I try to keep out of the way from them. I am not alone. Ignacio has to avoid them too. That doesn't mean that there aren't other dangers. I always have to be careful. Unlike Eloise and Massio, I do not always have to look out for things that want to eat me. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you how I met Eloise and Massio. I saved their life. It was a cool day on North Seymour Island. I was floating around in the sea. Well, I sometimes fly up and over, far out to sea to look for food. On this particular day, I decided to save my wings and float around looking for sardines. They are my favourite food. I could see some sardines, their silver skin shining underneath the surface of the sea. My heart was thumping and I felt all excited, as I often do when I can sense my favourite food. I could sense that there were sardines about, so I flew up to find a decent spot to take off dive bombing from. I was sat on a ledge looking over the Pacific Ocean. I realised that the sardines were there. So I got into position. Position for what, I hear you ask? Well, let me tell you what makes me most proud of being a blue-footed booby is that I can fly up to heights of around 80 feet up in the sky. That's around the height of around 13 tall people, each standing upon another's shoulders, forming a tower. Anyway, when I get to that height, I suddenly soared downwards at a great speed, almost like I've fallen out of a plane. Then I continue into the water, and the point of it all is to come up with fish in my beak. My friend, who I am teaching how to fish, Bobo, ideally prefers to fish in shallower waters than I do. He's not as tall as I am, but I just love dive bombing. To be honest, that is one of the times I'm at my happiest, as I rise out of the water with a sardine in my beak. Well, if you stick around, I may well go dive bombing. I'm a natural at it. As I previously told you, I have even been giving my friends lessons. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, I bombed down to capture the sardines and I banged right into Otto the octopus. Believe me, Otto is a hungry octopus who was watching, ready to pounce to catch some tea. Yes, you guessed it, the planned tea for Otto was Eloise or Massio, or even both. Not that day, as I accidentally knocked Otto right out of the way, as you can see. Neither of us was seriously hurt, just a little shaken, and Otto may have had a sore head for a few days. Believe me, I could not have done better had I planned it. Eloise and Massio scuttled across the water to safety, not knowing how lucky they were. They are lucky to have me as a friend, but they need to be more careful. If it was not for me, they would have been octopus food. In the next chapter, we will meet Bryony's friend, Bobo.